What's poppin', everybody? Thank you for popping through another Future Troy YouTube video. I appreciate you so much. So I'm going to be doing a little rebrand on the channel. It's now going to be a review channel, and I'm going to review all types of games. RPGs mainly, from like simulation RPGs to AARPGs to like your digging deep story RPGs too. And then I'm going to be telling you if you should cop it or not. And of course, I'll be breaking it down as all review channels do into different aspects. And then I'll tell you if you should buy it, pretty much based off price, availability, replayability, and overall just like how poppin' the game is. Like New World. If you've never played it, despite all the craziness and this and that, right? It's a cop. It is, especially if you're on console. But Lost Ark, a game I've played for like over 2,000 hours, I would actually say don't cop it, right? I'm not going to review either of those, but it just shows you that just because I play a game a lot doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to tell you to cop it, right? Although Lost Ark is free and the raids are out of this world, they're really good. I just personally think it's not worth your time. So a little about me, I've been gaming since I was like 4 years old, right? My first taste of gaming was playing Spyro at my older cousin's house on the PS1. I fell in love, and I've been gaming hardcore ever since. My first console was the original box in 2001. I was 6. Now we're here 24 years later, hundreds of games in, played almost every genre and subgenre, and I personally feel like an expert in the video game realm. So what's my first review? Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I've been playing it a ton, and to be honest, I'm having a lot of fun. So let's get to the review.
As a stream.
Okay. So before we begin, we have to discuss what's a 10, right? I'm going to be grading these games from 1 to 10, or 0 if it's that bad, right? So what's a 10? You can't really watch my videos without knowing exactly what I think a 10 is, what I think a phenomenal game is. Well, here's a few. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a 10. Super Mario Galaxy is a 10, 1 and 2. Overwatch 1 is a 10, not 2 though. Borderlands, I mean, what an incredible series. But Borderlands 2 is a 10. So what's Assassin's Creed Shadows? Well, let's begin. So Assassin's Creed Shadows is the latest installment in Ubisoft's acclaimed franchise, and there are a lot of games. I mean, a lot. So in Shadows, they're transporting players to 16th century Japan during the tumultuous Sengoku period. Released on March 20th, 2025, the game is available on PlayStation 5, Windows, Mac, and the Box Series X and S. It's set in 1572. Shadows immerses players in feudal Japan, a time marked by clan conflicts and social upheaval. The narrative unfolds through 2 protagonists, Naoi, who's a female shinobi skilled in stealth and infiltration, and Yasuke, an African samurai inspired by the historical figure of the same name, proficient in close quarters combat. Yeah, I know about the politics. I don't care. Let's move on. So players can switch between these characters, each offering unique perspectives and abilities that influence gameplay and narrative outcomes. So Shadows builds upon the series with open world exploration, stealth, and combat, and introduces several enhancements like stealth and parkour, right? They've added a lot of mechanics that allow for smoother navigation and infiltration, with the addition of a grappling hook to traverse vertical landscapes. The combat system, which features rhythmic and strategic engagements with a skill tree enabling players to unlock powerful techniques, and a dynamic world. The game world is divided into 9 provinces, each with diverse climate affecting gameplay. And now we get into breaking the game down. First, we're going to start with immersiveness, 1 to 10. So how lost do you get in the game? Does your boyfriend or girlfriend text you and you think about texting them back, and then 2 hours go by and you're still playing? That's an immersive game. So right from the start, Assassin's Creed Shadows pulls you into the world of 16th century in Japan. The active towns, lush forests, and ancient temples feel good. NPCs react naturally, and the dynamic weather system, including seasonal changes, makes the world feel like it's evolving as you play. I do think that Ubisoft could have done a bit more though. As far as Assassin's Creed, it's not their most immersive game, but I'm not mad at it. For immersion, it gets a 7. Gameplay. How does the mechanical inputs sync and flow with the overall experience? Does the game drive out like a Mercedes, a brand new right out the lot? Or does it feel like a broken down used 1990s Honda? That's what we're looking at here when we say gameplay. Gameplay wise, Shadows takes the best elements from the series and refines them. If you prefer the traditional stealthy Assassin's Creed style, Nahh is your go-to. She's agile, can hide in the shadows, uses smoke bombs, and takes out people silently. But if you love intense combat, Yasuke is your guy. As a samurai, his playstyle is all about direct, powerful engagements. The combat feels weighty and brutal with a mix of precise strikes and parries. It's a great balance between stealth and action, letting you choose how you want to play. The overall gameplay, though, it's a bit stale. The physics and the feeling of playing, it feels really good. But the combat's really where the problem is. Some of the assassinations, especially in the beginning, they're really cool when you see them for the first time. But the overall assassinations are reused too often. You're doing the same animation, even if you attack from a different angle. Now, that's not true all the time, but I felt like they could have added a lot more variety to the combat. So it felt like fresh during every engagement. Now, that's not to say there are definitely a lot of cool assassinations. But I just wanted more. A lot of the time I kind of knew exactly what my character was gonna do, and that kind of broke the immersion for me. The game feels good though. Like moving the character model is smooth and responsive, but I did feel myself wanting more. Okay, graphics. So this is where I'm gonna try to be as least biased as possible. But how the game looks, it matters to me so much. This is one of the main reasons why like New World is a cop. Among all the other important aspects, the game's gotta look good. It's all a part of the immersion, right? I mean, come on, it's 2025, and while WoW was like absolutely groundbreaking in 2004, like it's just not gonna cut it anymore in 2025. So visually, Assassin's Creed is one of the best looking games in the series, no doubt. The lighting, textures, the animations are top tier. The way that the light filters through the trees, the reflections in puddles, and the crisp detail on the armor and weapon. I mean, the game looks really good. I do have to say, I'm on a Ryzen 9 4070 Super with 64 gigs of RAM, and I'm looking at 1440. So that definitely makes a difference. But nevertheless, the game looks good. The character models are detailed, though some NPCs, they can feel a bit stiff, but when the game's at its best, it looks amazing. The graphics are an 8. Story. So whether the game's story matters to me personally, it really depends on what game I'm playing, right? I played Harry Potter, that story matters, right? I was playing Lost Ark, yeah, I could really care less about that story, right? So you see where I'm coming from. So in Assassin's Creed, it matters. Assassin's Creed has a dual protagonist approach to the story, and I think it adds a lot of depth. Nahh and Yasuke come from different worlds. One a shinobi and another samurai. But their paths do intertwine. The game does a really good job of making you care about their story, but I do feel there's more to be desired here. The storyline does seem a bit predictable for the most part. There are some really good moments there. But to be honest, it's Ubisoft. I've been playing their games for decades. I want more from them. The story is good, don't get me wrong, but they always leave me wanting more. Always. Now, it's not the deepest Assassin's Creed story ever, but it's not the worst either, right? The best part of the story really is the intertwine between Naomi and Yasuke and just how the stories play off of each other and how they help each other. I think that adds a lot of value to the playing experience. The story is a 7. Replayability. This is the most important aspect of any game. Replayability. It's really a combination of all the other categories, if you think about it. When I wake up, right, did I have so much fun playing that I just can't wait to play again, right? Did this same experience happen to me for like a half a year straight or even a month or two?
Y'all act like crack is so bad. Well, like the good book says, let he who is without sin throweth the first rock, and I shout smoketh it.
That's a really good game with a lot of replayability value. Shadows does have a lot of content beyond the main story. There are side quests, hidden collectibles, and open world activities too. Plus, you can approach missions differently depending on which character you play as, giving a good amount of replay value. Customization is another strong point. You can upgrade weapons, unlock new skills, and tailor your approach. But overall, the replayability is okay. Especially for me, and this is one of my problems I have with Ubisoft games. I mean, I have literally played so many, and I love them all for like a few weeks. And then I'm like, all right, like, where's the rest of the game? And I bet they're just kind of moving on to the next game, right? But their ideas are just, they're so good. Like, their ideas are so good that I wish they would just like pump a lot into 1 or 2 games and make them fully fleshed out. It would bang crazy. Replayability is a 6. Okay, so with every game, right? And I'm so honest, with every game, I want it to be a 10. I want it to be an absolute bang. But sadly, of course, this game is not a 10. The combat is stale. The story's good. It really is, but I want a bit more. It definitely started off weak. I was very scared at first. It started off weak. Like, the way that Naomi's dad died, I was just like, at first. But as it went on and we got more depth, the added characters, it got a lot better. So it's definitely not trash. The very solid story. I think they did a really good job on it. The world is kind of immersive. I won't lie. It's immersive. And the graphics are really good. No complaints there. But it's a AAA title in 2025 and it's single player. So, you know, I'm expecting excellence. Replayability is there. Slightly. I do have to say though, after playing for a day, I did want to go back to Harry Potter and Cyberpunk. And the only reason I kind of kept playing is because I really wanted to make this a video. So there is that. So the rating. So after averaging out all the numbers, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a 6.8. And now we get to cop or nah. If you're a huge fan, right, or you're going to do the Ubisoft Plus, which is the sub, I think it's like $20, cop it. But if you're thinking about paying the 70, nah. And that's our video. I appreciate you guys watching all the way through. If you enjoyed it, make sure to comment, please, and subscribe and like it as well. And thank you guys so much for popping through, and I will see you on our next review. See ya. Peace.